Good evening to you all, and thank you very much for joining us here on Rwanda Television News. We do hope you had yourselves a very productive Thursday. Now, kicking things off, let us begin by informing you that President Paul Kagame has met with President Xi Jinping of the People's Republic of China. The meeting, attended by delegations from both Rwanda and China, discussed the ongoing collaboration in key sectors including health, infrastructure, and technology. The heads of state also discussed their mutual commitment to multipolar global governance based on sovereignty, self-determination, and values. President Paul Kagame has stressed that all countries do not have a uniform style of good governance and should not be expected to, because each nation is unique. The Rwandan head of state made the remarks while co-chairing a high-level session on state governance alongside Zhao Leji, the chairman of the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress and member of the Politburo Standing Committee of the Chinese Communist Party.
Effective state governance is without doubt a central component of this achievement. However, to be effective, state governance must be based on the values and expectations of citizens. It cannot be imposed from outside. The Chinese experience in the poverty alleviation, development, and technology adoption offers many lessons for accelerating our modernization efforts. Throughout, China has demonstrated a strong desire for shared development with other nations based on mutual respect and common interests. This cooperative approach has allowed the relationship between Africa and China to flourish, including infrastructure development, scientific innovation, and peace and security on the continent.
The President of the Republic also took the time to give his own country, Rwanda, as an example of why the uniqueness of a country should not be ignored when it comes to governance.
There is no one-size-fits-all approach to governance. Each country must chart its own path that aligns with its unique context, history, and aspirations. In the aftermath of the 1994 tragic history in our country, Rwandans had to rethink and reconstruct our country's economic, social, and political foundations, relying on homegrown solutions to address our challenges. We have implemented policies for national unity and development, supported by robust institutions and efficient public administration. We have also focused on economic diversification, particularly on technology, tourism, and manufacturing, alongside favorable investment conditions.
On to other matters. Experts in agriculture emphasize that preserving soil health, understanding its composition, and nourishing it are essential steps toward building a sustainable agricultural sector in Africa. These efforts play a pivotal role in ensuring long-term productivity and resilience in farming across the continent. We have more of this story from Olive Nete.
On the fourth day of the ongoing Africa Food System Forum in Kigali, discussions centered on the critical threat climate change poses to agriculture and strategies to mitigate its impact, with the goal of building a sustainable agricultural sector. A special panel themed Feeding the Soil to Feed the Continent highlighted the importance of maintaining healthy soils to boost production and ensure high-quality crops. Experts stressed that soil preservation is a key aspect of food security, as it is the foundation of crop growth and sustainability.
Healthy soil is critical because it is the most biodiverse ecosystem that we have. And I don't think we talk enough about these multiple ecosystem services. We talk about healthy soil providing healthy food, not just food, healthy food. Soil is also the third largest carbon sink. So we need to start recognizing how we can improve land management to put more carbon back in the soil. Healthy soil also regulates our water cycle. To think about soil more holistically, and then when we're developing these land management approaches, how can we enhance all of those ecosystem services?
Experience shows that, investment on soil health, on landscapers, is best promoted if we link it with commodities, enterprises, major government flagship programs, and those which are really addressing the immediate needs of communities or of governments in terms of food security, at the same time are inputs for critical, crops.
Agriculture experts also emphasize that nourishing the soil for improved production must go hand in hand with protecting it, as soil is often lost to erosion and depleted over time. They stress the need for balanced soil management practices to prevent degradation and ensure long-term agricultural productivity. Dr. Telesfo Nabamenye, Director General of the Rwanda Agriculture and Animal Resources Development Board, highlighted several strategies Rwanda is advancing to preserve and maintain healthy soils.
We believe that not only soil health, but we have to talk about One Health, because we will be integrating so many areas, including the health of human, domestic, animals, plants, and mostly other ecosystems. So when we give some examples for Rwanda, we have been thinking on how we can protect our soils, because we can't feed our soils before we protect them. So we have been developing so many projects on land terracing, especially in the highlands where we have problems of soil erosion. We have started already development of site-specific recommendations to trigger the investment of fertilizer blending.
The discussions also revealed that a significant portion of arable land in Africa remains uncultivated. Additionally, experts highlighted the challenge of soil nutrient loss, as essential minerals are being depleted and carried away by erosion due to inadequate soil conservation measures. Another key challenge raised is the limited access to adequate and appropriate fertilizers, particularly for smallholder farmers in many African countries. Experts emphasize that addressing these issues is crucial for building a sustainable agricultural sector, as improved access to fertilizers is essential for enhancing productivity and supporting small-scale farmers. Olive Nete, RTV News.
Not moving far from that, as Africa faces growing food security challenges exacerbated by climate change, the role of agricultural innovation has never been more crucial. CIMMYT, the International Maize and Wheat Improvement Center, is at the forefront of developing climate-resilient crops, sustainable farming practices, and better access to fertilizers. In an exclusive interview with RBA, Bram Govertz, CIMMYT's Director General, shares insights on scaling innovations across Africa, addressing the needs of smallholder farmers, and balancing productivity with sustainability.
Before going deeply into fertilizers, CIMMYT has made great strides in developing improved seed varieties for maize and wheat that are resistant. How can these innovations be scaled further across Africa to ensure wider farmers?
Thank you, excellent question. And indeed, CIMMYT has developed varieties or new seeds that are resistant to fall armyworm or resistant to MLN, which is a disease that hits maize very hard, especially also here in Rwanda. Those seeds need to be commercialized by small seed companies. So in order to expand its adoption, it is very important that we have working seed systems that can be set up so farmers can buy those seeds, can develop their own seeds. And in that sense, AGRA, for example, is a partner in setting up those small and medium seed companies that can serve the smallholder farmer. We, of course, need to accompany it also with the right farming practices, and the combination of those two can generate adoption.
Speaking about seeds that are resistant, we also understand what we call climate change. And climate change is something that we cannot forget to say, because it's among the things that are hindering agriculture, like worldwide. With climate change posing increasing challenges to food production, what are some of the technologies or innovations that you think should be in place that would contribute to the discussions at this forum, but that would also be beneficial in improving and boosting the agriculture sector on the continent?
So CIMMYT has developed seeds based on the biodiversity we safeguard. We safeguard 28,000 different accessions of maize and 140,000 different accessions of wheat. And we have developed through science and taking that biodiversity, maize varieties that are drought tolerant. That drought tolerant maize is today planted on more than 8 million hectares in sub-Saharan Africa. And that has actually have a huge impact this year when we had an El Nino effect. And actually we could see that those drought-tolerant maize varieties were yielding 40% more than those that were non-drought tolerant. So it has really saved billions and billions of hectares and tons of maize. It actually has benefited over 40 million people, and in that sense we want to further distribute those seeds. Other practices, of course, regenerative agriculture, or those agriculture practices that make sure that also the soil fertility is optimally attended, and including also crop diversification. We don't want maize. We need to incorporate some of the traditional African crops in those mixed maize systems, like groundnut, like millets, like chickpeas, like maybe sorghum, etc., etc.
Coming back again, when we speak about agriculture, we know that it is among the drivers of economy on the African continent, because most of the population do agriculture. How to ensure long-term food security? What role do conservation agriculture practices, which CIMMYT promotes, play in helping the sustainability, or in ensuring sustainability of the agriculture sector?
The agricultural sector is the basis of the economic growth of any country. You cannot learn without having something in your stomach, or it's very difficult. You cannot work very hard if you haven't eaten. So that food security and agricultural piece is an important piece to really fuel the economy. In that sense, also applying conservation agriculture practices, which are practices based on or are part of regenerative agriculture, is important to support those improved seed varieties that we just discussed. And there also the mechanization component is not to be underestimated. Mechanization that is fit for smallholder farmers, mechanization that young entrepreneurs can use as a business model to go and give service to multiple farmers. So there is a whole ecosystem that you could develop around that mechanization that is also an agriculture and an economic development component. So really for the sector, it will be very important to have the small seed businesses, the small mechanization businesses, and then smart and entrepreneurial farmers that bring this all together and really fuel a very energetic agricultural sector.
Boosting this sector, it also aligns with, yes, good seeds. It also aligns with the soil,
Correct. Soil
the
health.
healthy soil, but it also incorporates the fertilizers that we use. So fertilizers can significantly boost crop yield, but access and affordability remain challenges that most farmers are still facing. What best practices have you identified in improving the distribution of fertilizers among smallholder farmers?
Thank you. And the effectiveness of fertilizers really start with how the farmer plants its seed, how the farmer works his soil, and it needs to be a healthy soil, so a conservation agriculture-based soil that has a lot of organic matter, that reincorporates some of the straw or the residues after the harvest, that does good crop rotation. Once we have that basis, then we need to make sure that the farmer has the right information about which fertilizers to apply. And so CIMMYT has been working very hard on setting up information systems so farmers know where to buy, how to buy, and that there are small input credits so a farmer can actually buy that fertilizer. So that's one end. The other end is, of course, the availability and the distribution. So in that end, we really need to boost Rwanda's local economy and local entrepreneurs so they can set up distribution systems that are innovative and that are run by small shops that makes that availability closer to the farmer. So some kind of service provision models that some of the actors here today are also promoting.
With the increasing demand for eco-friendly and climate-smart agriculture, how can we scale the use of more sustainable fertilizers and soil enhancers while still meeting the productivity needs of African farmers?
Of course, and I think it's important to understand on that, in that sense, that if you use the right amount of fertilizer, especially where no fertilizer are used, the environmental impact is not the main driver. It is really getting the fertilizer in the ground at the right time, in the right context, making sure the soil is already fertile, because if the soil is not fertile, it's not working and it will not really activate your fertilizers. Now, the environmental pollution part of fertilizers is a lot in those areas where we are over-applying. Now in Rwanda, that is not really the case with smallholder farmers. It may be in some of the commercial, bigger farm enterprises. But so really for smallholder farmers, the important thing is having the decision tools so a farmer can apply sufficient fertilizer at the right time, and that will mitigate some of the environmental impacts, especially if we have the right seeds and if we combine it with conservation agriculture practices. That's also why CIMMYT is working very, very, very hard to set up also the extension system around that, and I hope we can really increase also the research and innovation around fertilizer and fertilizer use, so we get better blending, better coating of those fertilizers, and that will require an increased investment. We're really looking at doubling or even tripling the investment in research and innovation, and the investment in then scaling this through big system development programs.
Summing up our interview, the Africa Food System Forum has been ongoing. It's almost done. We are speaking about various topics, but all in relation on how to boost the agriculture sector on the continent, but also worldwide. What are some of the key takeaways, and what do you expect in the coming days that are remaining?
So this conference, this summit for us is also a report back moment. So 2 years ago, actually, we agreed that we needed to work closer with AGRA, closer with last mile delivery partners like One Acre Fund, but also private sector. Now we can report that thanks to an investment called Mass Agro Africa, we are replicating a successful model of scaling through support from USAID Feed the Future. And that scaling effort has now proven results. So what is coming out of that for me is one highlight is we have a methodology that we now want to be able to replicate and actually escalate and scale out in other countries. We did this effort in Tanzania, Malawi, and Zambia, and I hope we can bring it also to Rwanda, so that within 2 years we can report back in the same forum that we were actually very successful. So I see we are moving into the same direction: mechanization, regenerative agriculture, climate smart seeds, and many we are discussing the same elements, but now also the big question is how do we scale that in the different countries? We have now a model to do, and I hope we can test it also in this country.
Mr. Graham, thank you for speaking to Rwanda Television.
It is my pleasure, and I hope I can come back one day to inform about the big results we had in this country.
Thank you, Olive Nete, for that insightful conversation. On Thursday, Rwandan peacekeepers under the United Nations mission in South Sudan were decorated with UN medals for their commendable service in peacekeeping operations. The UN MISS Force Commander, Lieutenant General Mohan Subramanian, who presided over the medal parade awarding ceremony, commended Rwandan peacekeepers for their discipline, professionalism, and dedication while performing their duties. He further congratulated them for their steadfast support in maintaining security in South Sudan, especially in Juba City and other places. The UN MISS Force Commander also underlined that Rwanda's commitment to UN peacekeeping operations is clearly outlined in the Constitution. Of their unique contributions are proof to their determination to implement this obligation. Brigadier General William Ryarasa, the sector unit commander and Rwanda's senior national representative in South Sudan, stated that Rwandan peacekeepers conducted various operations to ensure peace and security, to include patrols to liaise with local security forces, monitor and respect human rights, gather critical information for the interest of protection of civilians, protect UN agencies, community activities aimed at promoting cleanliness, health and education, such as medical outreach programs, distribution of school materials, and planting trees during community work, among others. Colonel John Tyson Sesonga, the Run Bat 3 contingent commander, said that the medal parade is one of the best privileges in one's military career and is regarded as an extraordinary motivation that enhances commitment to execute tasks as required by the UN MISS mandate. He further appreciated the support rendered by the UN MISS leadership, the government of South Sudan, and friendly contingents in accomplishing the force's mandated tasks. The event was marked by parade demonstration, cultural dance performance, martial arts display, and demonstration of skills and arms. Because cybersecurity is a proactive shield against threats in the interconnected cyberspace, Rwanda Internet Governance Forum held a meeting earlier today to discuss key topics relating to cybersecurity. We have the report courtesy of William Evans Mutabazi and Innocent Kanyamanza.
Rwanda Internet Governance Forum holds annual events that bring together different stakeholders to discuss pertinent issues related to the internet. Today, they convened at Lemigo Hotel to discuss data governance, data protection, and security. This conversation centered on how Rwandans access, consume, and protect data from harmful and malicious breaches. Mr. Robert Ford, an independent technology consultant and leader of Rwanda Internet Governance Forum, said that such gatherings are to, among other things, advocate for no regulation of the internet.
We are advocating for internet governance. Governance and regulating are two different things. Regulating means that you are setting in place certain controls, boundaries. You are setting boundaries on the internet to say you cannot cross here, and this is the law when you cross here. We are actually trying to make sure that internet is a free utility that can be accessed by many people, but has to be governed. And governing means that you have an understanding. It's not a regulation, but you have an understanding. As consumers of this product, you have a common understanding that this is the best way we think internet should be governed. And that becomes an understanding of all of you. And once you have that agreement, then you know how best to consume this product for your own betterment.
Mr. Eraste Rwangwa from the Data Protection Office at National Cybersecurity Authority, which is in charge of building skills and capacities necessary to secure Rwanda's cyberspace, says there is low awareness on data protection and such forums seek to address this issue. This is a continuous journey of robust awareness campaigns so that people can know their rights, because data protection begins with self. If someone asks you for certain information before they give you a certain service, but you notice that the information they're asking for is not in any way related to what you're asking for, then you must question their intentions, because extra data could be misused to incriminate you. Some of the young people in attendance told RTV what they think about the Rwanda Internet Governance Forum and what they learned in general.
I really think that young people are not aware of the data policies that are in place, and even the few people that know them, they don't really take them to heart. So for me, it has given me a balance of being open to AI, but also using it with a very cautious approach for me to be able to maintain data privacy, but also leverage the benefits that come with AI.
I think the awareness should be improved so that these policymakers should also go down to search for these people around and teach them everything related to these policies.
It's basically translating theories and laws and legalities to reality, actually. So this is what this forum is to me at this point.
In today's interconnected digital age, safeguarding data is not just a responsibility, but a necessity. William Evans, Mutabazi, RTV News.
Thank you, William Evans, for that report. Students who have concluded their summer vacations say that they had enough time to relax and learn a lot that will help them during the courses that they're going to have to repeat. And Nora Gladys has more on this report.
Monday, September 9th, students in secondary schools and primary schools will start the school year 2024-2025, while those in university will be starting on September 2024. Isimbi Nadia Nada and Nsengimana Leon Bruce are some of the students who are going back to school. They say that these holidays was a good time for them to have fun, but also to learn new things, including sports, which helped them to go back to school with enough rest and learned new things.
We learned many things. We met friends. We make friends, and after this, made just a prayer game here. But this game helped me in many things. I studied many things. We traveled in many places, so this holiday and this game helped me in many things. And
very much because I was having like 2% for playing badminton then, but now I think it may be like 5 or too much. We was relaxing in this holiday because also even other country, you can't learn every day. Yeah, we was relaxed, we was sport there.
Organizers of entertainment activities that help young people in relaxing say that they do everything they can to help them have fun but also learning from it.
We organize this summer closing event just to celebrate with the students and with the youth in general. That's why we organize this. But this is specifically for students because they are going to school on Monday. So we organize this event just to celebrate with them. They have to come and we enjoy because they are going to, I'm not going to say that they are going in struggle, they are going to study, but they have to go with happiness, not only for fun. We have a session called Meet Me Tonight where we invite the guests and come and inspire us, and we ask him or her questions. So it's entertainment. It is not only entertainment, it's much more entertainment because we have a theme. Our theme is use what you have to get what you want. As Gen Zs, we have to use what we have to get what we want, or to build what we want. That is the reason why we have that session of Meet Me Tonight. So people have to come and we learn and we laugh.
Holidays started on 5th July 2024 and will end on September 8th, 2024. Most of the participants in these summer holidays activities are mostly high school students. Nora Gladys, RTV News.
And that VOA story marks the end of our bulletin tonight. And before we close up, on behalf of the news production team, as well as the technical team, would like to thank you very much for sticking with us on RTV News. My name is Martina Abera, and stay safe. Have a great night.